Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Fighter Life TV. So today we're going to discuss the 4 pillars of mixed martial arts. What are the 4 pillars, you might ask? Well, these are the cornerstone skill sets that support each other and come together to create the full function of what mixed martial arts truly is. So let's get started. First is going to be your boxing. We need basic striking skills, hand discipline. We need knowledge of basic footwork, angles, defense, and just the typical boxing strikes, jab, cross, hooks, and uppercuts, right? We need these for the benefit that they simply provide. Now, where does boxing fall short? Well, boxing as a sport is great, but as relates to MMA, it's obviously lacking because there is no true clinch, there is no wrestling, grappling, takedowns, or strikes below the belt. So there's no leg kicks to deal with, and there's no peril from any attack below the waistline either. So there's just no kicking in boxing. So that takes me to our second pillar, which is Muay Thai. And the reason I suggest Muay Thai above other striking arts is twofold. It's a true 8-limb martial art. So not only does it involve punches, or not only punches and kicks, but it also includes an in-depth knowledge of elbows and knees. Beyond that, what a lot of people may not understand is the true art of Muay Thai includes a full system of clinch work, including foot sweeps and takedowns as well, or throws if you will. So we're going to take basic boxing to learn some very rudimentary striking skills, and we're going to move into Muay Thai to understand how to better apply those, both at range and in the clinch, as well as learning how to address kicks, knees, elbows, and take our dirty boxing to a whole nother level, not to mention the trip and sweep game that's included there. Now, the third pillar, wrestling. Wrestling is going to take that clinch game to yet another level. It's going to allow us to effect a takedown in open space or against a cage wall. Most importantly, it's going to teach us about top pressure, head placement, shoulder placement, hip control, how to pummel for underhooks, how to use grips, hand fighting, things along those lines, not only to secure our own grips on our opponent, but to assist in ensuring that he does not get dominant grip structure set up on us as well to enable him to effect a takedown on us. So we need our wrestling for that. Now, once the fight goes to the ground, wrestling is still a humongous component. So not only does it teach us the standing clinch game and takedowns, but again, that be on top mentality and top pressure puts us at a positional advantage to be able to strike a grounded opponent and to a large extent to shut down motion and maintain control of our grounded opponent. Beyond that, we need to look at the fourth pillar, which is submission grappling. Most prolific right now, of course, is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but there are plenty of catch wrestlers, Sambo practitioners, and even no-gi, just submission grapplers who don't necessarily prescribe to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Why is this necessary? This is a multifold pillar, as are each, because they all complement each other. So how is an MMA contest won? It's won by striking dominance via knockout or TKO. It's won by damage and dominance in the cage, which can be through wrestling, through clinch fighting and cage control, your dirty boxing, all of these things tie together. Takedowns also score well, ground control and positioning, but the last leg, or the last means of winning an MMA bout is via submission. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and or other forms of submission grappling are going to teach us how to effect a submission. Arm bars, shoulder locks, strangulations, and chokeholds all being a part of the game, not to mention leg locks, knee bars, etc. Now, the benefit to learning submissions is not only that it increases your ability to win a fight via that fourth protocol, which is submissions. But it also helps you be knowledgeable of what threats you will encounter. So as a wrestler or as a Muay Thai fighter that has a strong clinch skill set, it's going to teach us better where to place our head to make sure we don't get guillotined. When we're on the ground, it's going to teach us how to better position ourselves against chokes, arm bars, and attacks from the guard. And just in general, it will round out our skill set. So none of these functions autonomous. They all have to go together. If you simply do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in a classroom setting and never address strikes, you're going to have a hard time in an MMA fight, because while your guard game may be on fire, if you're not accustomed to having to use your sweeps and submissions under fire, then you're going to find yourself in a strong deficit. As a wrestler, you have a great advantage with the ability to gain takedowns and maintain dominance on top. But you may not be aware of what perils can be presented via joint locks and submissions. And as a striker, if you're only a striker and you are not familiar with those other two skill sets, the wrestling and submissions, you're still living in the 90s, man. Still living in the 90s. Why does boxing need modified? Like we said earlier, it needs modifications because the stance is going to be different. You have to be able to sprawl to avoid the takedowns. You need to have foot placement that allows you to shoot if you want to affect a takedown. You have to be able to check kicks, and you have to be able to address kicks as well as throw kicks. So that being said, the 4 pillars of mixed martial arts that every amateur fighter should be training: boxing basics, Muay Thai, including all 4 limbs. And even if, as an amateur, knees and elbows are not allowed in the promotions or in the states that you fight, you're still creating a huge deficit if you're not learning about them earlier. Don't wait until you're 8 fights into your amateur career or farther and preparing to turn pro before you start dealing with and addressing knees and elbows. Too late in the game at that point, guys. So again, you've got your boxing, Muay Thai, wrestling, and some form of submission grappling. For myself, huge fan of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but I was actually introduced to grappling in general via a judoka who also had trained Sambo. So respect to everybody. Train hard, train smart, and do me one last favor. Drop me some comments, give me some feedback. How do you merge these skill sets together? Which striking and grappling arts do you prescribe to? And last but not least, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the page, and ring that bell so you get notifications of upcoming videos. Drop us some comments, leave us some questions. We'll get back to you soon. And thank you for checking us out here at Fighter Life TV.